Tony D and Little Joan, and this is your Screenwriter's Rant on Heavyweight, a boxing movie that takes place in the UK about a boxer who is destined to lose and then has to do the fight anyway. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys books 1 through 17. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So, I'm not sure what happens here. It's a little unclear, but apparently what happens is there's a boxing match. And some of the guys that were supposed to box have to cancel out. And then at the last minute, they uncancel and come back into the fight. So now this bald guy boxer feels like he's going to lose. It like completely psychs him out. So they're trying to get into the psychological aspect, I think, of the boxing game. It's either that or they watch the other boxer on TV in his locker room and conclude he somehow knows their strategy. I'm not sure. A little of both, maybe. Wasn't really clear to me the first time I watched it, but they conclude he's going to lose, or at least he does. And it completely psychs him out. And now he doesn't want to fight, but he's contractually obligated to fight. His manager's pushing him to fight. And he ends up fighting anyway. And the team is just like, we'll just go out there and fight, and you're going to lose, but who cares? Something like that. But then I think he wins. I think he wins because there's a shot of another boxer being taken out on a stretcher. So I think he does win the match, ultimately. But I will say the lead actor, he's supposed to be a heavyweight. He doesn't look heavy enough to be a heavyweight to me. Looks a little too light. He looks more like light to middleweight to me. I mean, he's, he looks like a boxer. He's in shape, but he's he seems a little skinny for the role. But not sure that matters. And I'm not a boxing expert. This guy, who I think is the other boxer, he does look big. Because he towers, he's like half, or at least the tallest guy in the room for his team. He is not. He seems to be a little smaller than the rest of the guys on his team. So that's the only thing that kind of threw me a little. So keep in mind, in movies, it's all about optics. It's not about what's real necessarily. Now, he may very well be fine for the weight in a heavyweight match. I don't know what that is. Or they may have just said, he's close enough. But he's a good actor and we hired him. I'm not sure. But you should make the rest of his team, you probably want to cast guys who are a little smaller than him physically to make him look bigger, I would think. No? I got into a discussion in another comments for F1, another sports movie, and the guy was furious that I was making jokes about, Formula One racing. He called me a critic of racing. No. I'm not a sports guy, as many of you know. I don't really watch sports. I sort of tune in and out, like very, very much a dilettante in that area. I might watch the Super Bowl with friends, mostly to eat food. I might watch a championship boxing match just because everybody else is watching it. Like, yeah, sports to me is an alien world that I very rarely visit. But that's not what I'm talking about on this channel. I'm talking about the movie. The actual sports world is irrelevant. I can enjoy the movie and not care about the sport. So I do like that this movie gets into the psychological aspect of fighting, because it is a factor. I mean, when you got guys who are pretty evenly matched and they do, the process of elimination, as various boxers fight, as you get to the top, you're getting guys who are pretty closely matched. And then, they're the same weight. They both had tons of training, and then they get into the ring, and who wins? Well, sometimes it's a guy who uses the best strategy. In the case of Iron Mike Tyson, it was he just had raw power, I think. My God, he would myrtleize guys. So, I like this movie. The idea that you're playing the mental game here, because it's a little different, and it fits well with a narrative, because it gets into his head, which to me is more interesting than a fake fight where, in Rocky, we know Rocky's probably going to win, except in that first one. In other boxing movies or other sport movie, depending on the tone of the movie, you can kind of tell if the character's going to win. Usually if it's the lighter the tone, the more likely it is the protagonist is going to win the match. Or even if he doesn't win, come out ahead in some way. Whereas if it's a darker tone, you probably are going to see the character lose the match, or even if he wins, he sort of loses. So in this case, partly because it's a UK movie, I don't know the actors, the tone is kind of right down the middle. It kind of could go either way, but I think he wins. I think he actually wins, and it's a surprise. Because of that one shot with them bringing the other boxer out. So first act, he's doing this fight. There's been a bunch of changes. Either his opponent, had to step out, and then another guy was put into his place that he can beat, or he's the substitute boxer, and it's a strategy thing. They saw something on the video that gave away a strategy. Either way, he's completely psyched out. That's the first act. It's all a wind up to the fight. Then they get in the room. They're supposed to be prepping for the fight, and now he doesn't want to fight. He's totally psyched out, and he wants to forfeit or back out of the fight, but he can't, for his contract, his manager, and other factors. So it's a drama about that, going back and forth. Eventually, in the second act, he has to go and do the fight. And the third act is either the climax of that fight and the fallout, or possibly just the fallout, because it's so psychological, where I think he wins, and he wasn't expected to, and he actually hurts the other guy. I'm not sure how, if he was expected to lose. Joan, I know you're very upset. Just relax. So I kind of don't mind this movie. I would probably watch it on streaming. It's not a event movie like Rocky. As an Italian, I'm required by law to go see all Rocky movies in the theater, but this is not one of them. So I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think it's kind of an interesting angle that again lends itself to a narrative. But let's see what the IMDb says about it. It's called Heavyweight. Not seeing it here. Heavyweight is one word, maybe? This, yeah, this one. A boxing coach prepares an underdog for career-defining boxing championship match as their world starts to collapse under the pressure. Christopher M. Anthony writes and directs. I don't know if he does collapse under the pressure, but I guess he does. I mean, he definitely has a breakdown. But does he come back from it? I don't recognize any of the actors. So I think this is a smaller movie. But yeah, I think I would see this, on streaming. I think it looks pretty interesting. And that, you got to go a long way to make a sports movie interesting to me. So, all right, Heavyweight. Do we have a date on this thing? No, coming soon. I would imagine in the States this is probably going to streaming. But yeah, I think this could be good. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. Tonight, I'll be at Authors Night at the Atlantic County Historical Society in Summers Point, New Jersey. And the exact address I'll give you. It's the second floor of 907 Shore Road in Summers Point. That's the actual Atlantic County Historical Society. You may not find it on Google, so you need the exact address. So it starts at 6:30. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.